Okay. Okay, Sean, go ahead, please.
All right. So at the beginning when we first got there, because we got there a little early, the priest, you were in the room, and I was wondering what that room was.
Okay. So पंडित जी शान पूछ रहे हैं कि जब ये लोग पहले पहुंचे तो थोड़ा पहले पहुंच गए थे, तो आप उस मंदिर के उस कमरे में कुछ कर रहे थे, तो उस कमरे का क्या इंपॉर्टेंस है?
हाँ, वो उस समय अभिषेक चल रहा था, तो अभिषेक के बाद हम लोग किवाड़ बंद कर देते हैं ना,
हाँ
तो
हाँ हाँ.
पूरा फिर वस्त्र अलंकार जो है वो चेंज करते हैं सारा, तो वो उतनी देर में हम कमरा बंद ही रखते हैं।
Okay.
फिर जब हो जाता तो फिर दरवाजा खुलता है, श्रृंगार हो जाता तो फिर दरवाजा खुलता है, तो फिर हम लोग दर्शन करते हैं।
Okay. Okay. So Sean, basically, our deities, they live in their own home. So it's when you go to the temple, we consider that temple as a holy place from where you can connect to the divine. You don't have to be Hindu. You don't. Anybody can just connect to the divine as long as you believe in a higher power. So those rooms which you saw where Panditji was doing a special ritual, what we do, this is a weekly ritual where we call it abhishekam. Abhishekam means like giving the full bath, just like, we depend on our baths to remain, pure and hygienic. It's the same thing. We treat that the God basically is there among us as human, even though God is usually considered higher power. So, so human power is very limited. So, but then we do believe that God always is there in our hearts, and then we treat that deity as a physical form of God which is present among us. So we give the deity a proper hygienic bath. It's called abhishekam every week. So during that time, just like in your bathroom, when you go and take your shower, you close the room, right, for privacy. So we do the same thing. We also close that room so that when Panditji is doing the bath of the deity and then changing the clothes every week, there is a new set of clothes which is given to the deity. During that time, that room is closed, and then when Panditji is done, and Panditji means priest. So when Panditji is done, he opens the room with the deity having taken all its bath and all the new clothes and all that. It's a very metaphoric, morphic thing. I'm just trying to explain it on a very high level. If you want to understand the deeper meaning, we can go and discuss it for hours and hours. But hopefully you get the sense of it, if that makes sense.
No, that makes a ton of sense, actually.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Hi, Sinisa. Welcome. Okay. All right, Son. Go ahead.
If anyone can I go next or. All right. I had a question. I saw when I was like kind of looking around, I saw a lot of like apples. I saw an apple and rice, and then you guys also were giving out apples. I was wondering if like an apple symbolized anything to you guys.
Okay. तो पंडित जी वो मार्क पूछ रहे हैं कि वो एप्पल और राइस देखा उसने, तो एप्पल का कोई सिग्निफिकेंस है क्या कुछ?
अच्छा, पहले बेसिकली हम इनको जैसे इनके क्वेश्चन शुरू हो गए ना, ये तो इधर उधर के क्वेश्चन है ना,
हाँ,
इनको एक बेसिक लाइन पे ले आते हैं पहले।
ओके।
तो ऐसा ना हो कि हमसे कोई गलत पॉइंट चला जाए तो फिर वो हम उसको रेक्टिफाई करना मुश्किल हो जाएगा।
हाँ हाँ।
जैसे हमारा ये कि हमारा नहीं, पूरा यूनिवर्सल एक ट्रुथ है कि परमात्मा जो है एक यूनिवर्सल है, एक शक्ति, एक ऐसी शक्ति है जिसको हम अपने अपने ढंग से अपने अपने विश्वास के अनुसार उस परमात्मा के साथ जुड़ना चाहते हैं।
Yep.
तो ये मंदिर भी एक हमारा उस डिवाइन शक्ति के साथ जुड़ने के लिए एक फेथ है। हर एक व्यक्ति अपने अपने ढंग से उस शक्ति के साथ मतलब कनेक्ट होना चाहता है, जो उसने सीखा है उस प्रैक्टिस के साथ वो उसके साथ जुड़ना चाहता है। तो ये भी एक मंदिर भी एक जो है उस डिवाइन पावर के साथ जुड़ने के लिए हमारा एक प्रयास है, एक एफर्ट है सारा, है ना। तो हम जो भी जहाँ करते हैं वो एक गाइडलाइन है हमारे वेदों की कि परमात्मा की अगर कृपा चाहिए तो अपने हृदय में नोबिलिटी को क्रिएट कर लो। तो हम जो भी जहाँ करते हैं बेसिकली हम नोबिलिटी को क्रिएट करने के लिए ही सारे प्रयास करते हैं। जैसे राइस इसलिए रखे हुए हैं कि ये पुरानी रीति है कि कोई अगर भूखा ना जाए, है ना, किसी को फल दे दिया, भगवान को ऑफर करके हम दूसरों में डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करते हैं। मतलब ऑफर इसलिए करते हैं कि कहीं अपना अभिमान ना आ जाए कि मैं कर रहा हूँ। तो राइस और एप्पल का कोई और इससे ज्यादा सिग्निफिकेंस नहीं है। वो एक ऑफरिंग है,
ओके
ना।
ओके
तो आप शुरू से ही बोली थी जो
हाँ
मैं
हाँ right. Okay, so Mark, Pandit ji gave a very beautiful explanation to your question, but I have to take 2 steps back, and first we have to talk about a little bit of meaning of what Hinduism represents. Without that, you won't be able to understand your question. Your question about the apple and then the rice is just by your observation, what you saw in the temple. But unless you understand the meaning of Hinduism a little bit better, any answer I give will not really make any sense to you. So if you bear with me, I'll try to keep it short, but let me explain what actually Hinduism means in general. So what Hinduism is, that or a Hindu temple is, we believe in according to our scriptures, that God is nothing but a universal power, which is managing not just the universe, the physical part of the universe, but actually the whole sustaining of the life. Now, we all want to connect to that higher power, but our physical being depends on our body and our mind. So our mind is different. Mark and Sean's and Sinisa's mind and Morgan's mind is very different from Arun's mind. We understand, and then the body is very different too. But that the third level, which is that supreme power, or the universal consciousness, which basically sustains our life, that is exactly the same. That does not vary from Sinisa to Sean to Mark to Morgan to Ashwini Kumarji to Arun Agarwal. But the thing is, because we have to deal everything we experience everything with our mind, and since our minds are different, we connect to that divine power in a very different way, depending on your inclination. So that's very important to understand, that this divine temple or Hindu temple, what we create, we give you a venue where you come, and then regardless of what faith you are, what skin color you are, what gender you are, doesn't matter. Depending on your mind, we give you a forum for you to connect to that supreme power or that divine power. It is not a very specific God. We are not saying Krishna is the only God, or anything can be anything which is that universal consciousness. Wherever you can relate to, however you can relate to, that's where you become powerful. And the second thing which Panditji said was that the way you attain God, or you become connected with that supreme power. God, I know in your young generation, God word has been kind of overrated term, and God causes a lot of controversy, because people start thinking that we are forcing upon Hinduism religion on you. We are not. We absolutely not. So we are just saying universal consciousness. So universal consciousness is what we need to connect with. But the way we connect is, the simplest way to connect to that universal consciousness is through feeling the nobility in your own heart and in your mind. So having said this, basically now coming back to your question about specifically about the apple and the rice, the idea is that everything in the universe is basically given by that supreme consciousness. Everything is a manifestation of that universal consciousness, whether it is apple, or it is concrete, or it is food, or it is sun, or Mother Earth, planets. Everything in the universe just comes from that universe consciousness. So what happens is, when you see apple and rice is something which you saw, but basically our intention is in the Hindu temple, people bring some offering to offer to the God, even though you cannot really offer anything to the God. But whatever you offer, we gather there from, it's all voluntary, right? So you bring some apples, or you bring some fruits, or you bring some mangoes, or you bring some bananas, anything you want to bring as a faith that God, you have given me enough, and I just want to show my gratitude to you by bringing it to the temple. So everything gets gathered like that, and then somebody like poor or somebody who needs that food, when they come, they basically gather that food as a prasad. We call it prasad. Prasad is nothing but a blessing. So if Panditji gave you that apple probably came from somebody who brought that as an offering to the temple, but then you got it as a blessing, as a prasad. So it's a sort of a distribution system, but then idea is not really a distribution system. We are not really creating a distribution system. All it is it's a gratification. It's showing our gratification to that universal consciousness, that whatever we see, whatever we consume, whatever we need to sustain our life is all coming from you, and then we are grateful for that. And how do we show our gratitude? By distributing it to other people. So I know I said a lot, but if you have any follow-up question, or if something doesn't make any sense, please feel free, Mark.
I got it. You explained it very good. Thank you.
Okay. All right.
I have another question when you're ready.
Yes, Sean, go ahead.
So when I noticed that people were ringing the bell as they came in, what does that signify?
हाँ, पंडित जी वो बेल का
बहुत, क्योंकि एक बेल ही नहीं, आपको पता है ना, जब हम पर उसमें भी बेल जो है हमारा एक साउंड क्रिएट करता है। जैसे हम बोलते हैं ना कि ओम, जब भी बेल बजाओ तो उसमें से एक साउंड होता है, हम बोलते हैं शब्द वही ब्रह्म, कि दुनिया में सबसे ज्यादा शक्ति जो है किस चीज में है? शक्ति शब्द में ही पावर है ना, सबसे ज्यादा। तो सबसे पहले जब सृष्टि का रचना हुई थी तो शब्द से ही हुई थी, ओम। तो वो जो बेल बजती है, अगर हम ध्यान से सुनेंगे तो उसका जो साउंड है वो हमें फील करवाता है ओम।
ओके।
अ उ और म, प्योरिटी, डिविनिटी और हैप्पीनेस।
Okay. All right. I think Panditji gave a very beautiful answer, Sean, to your question. So what he's saying is that before the universe began, I know scientifically, we all know that scientists say that the universe started with a big bang. What Hinduism or scriptures believe, that before the universe, before the physical universe which we see all around, including all the galaxies and all the solar systems and planets and everything, there was nothing but a primordial sound called Om, just a vibration. And even today, I mean, if you see, not only Hinduism, but there are other religions also who believe very sincerely that everything is derived from a vibration. As a matter of fact, if you look at any quantum mechanics theory, I'm digressing a little bit from what Panditji said, but just wanted to, because since you are at the UAD, I want to make sure that you understand that if you do any Googling and you say string theory or quantum mechanics theory, everything is based off a vibration. So the whole universe basically is comprised of a vibration. There are vibrations of the frequency range which a human system can recognize, and some frequency range we can't even recognize. So what Panditji is saying, that Om sound, which consists of 3 syllables, a, u, ma, and what they represent is purity, divinity, and happiness. So basically what they are saying is that the whole universe, before the physical emergence of the universe, the only sound which existed in the form of a vibration was Om. So with these 3 labels, as I said, syllables I said. So when you ring the bell in the temple, it basically generates that same sound which a human system can comprehend, and it is just supposed to remind you of that Om sound, that primordial sound from where the universe began, and then it's supposed to connect you with that deep meaning. It's just not a sound, it's just not a noise which you are hearing. Basically what it is supposed to do, it's supposed to connect you to that purity, divinity, and happiness. And what Pandit ji is saying that according to our scriptures, when those three things are there in your heart, in your system, purity, divinity, and happiness, if you are happy, you already have gotten God in your system. God is not like physical entity or something. It's just your happiness. So I know I'm trying to explain a little bit more than your specific question, but unless we give you the real meaning of what your question is, you will actually go away with more confusion than clarity. And we want to make sure we are not really selling you Hinduism. We are not selling you anything about the religion. All we are trying to do is we just want to give you the right context so that whatever you understanding you take from us, it's in the right context. That's all we are trying to do, Sean. Does that help?
Yeah, that helps so much. I understand that totally.
Great.
Thank you for that.
Morgan, your turn.
Yeah. So when I was walking around and looking at some of the buildings, I noticed that there was like coins on the ledge. I want to know if that represented something, or if that had like a symbolic meaning, or if it was like an offering type thing. So
You
like
said
little
ledge?
coins, like along the side of the building, there was like pennies or quarters, or like it was like change like alongside the buildings.
Oh, okay. So,
yeah.
पंडित जी मोर्गन पूछ रही है कि मंदिर के आसपास उसको कुछ कॉइन्स दिखे, क्वार्टर्स वगैरह के, पेनीज के, तो उसका क्या सिग्निफिकेंस है?
मतलब आउटसाइड या इनसाइड?
Morgan, did you see them outside or did you see them inside the building?
I saw them like along the outside.
Along the outside. Oh, तो पंडित जी बाहर भी लोगों ने कहीं पे रख जाते हैं ना, वो बाहर भी तो
नहीं, उसका कोई सिग्निफिकेंस नहीं। जहाँ तो किसी के गिर गए होंगे, जहाँ मतलब मंदिर बंद होगा तो वो बाहर ही ऑफर करके चला गया।
हाँ. So Morgan, what Pandit ji is saying that actually there is no significance of any coins outside the building. What happens during the COVID period? Our temple publicly got closed because of the healthy reasons for the safety reasons for a long time. So when people come, even though we have announced it on our website, we announced it on our voicemail system, but people sometimes just believe that, oh, nothing will happen in the temple is going to be open anyway. So they come to the temple assuming that the temple will be open, but if the temple is closed, they want to still do some offering. So they will just take some coins out of their pocket and then put it in on the wall just as kind of their offering. But honestly, they do not mean it. That does not mean anything.
Thank you, Morgan. Your question good.
Thank you.
So actually, I saw coins too, but it was within the temple, and it was on. Oh, I'm trying to think. It was on like ledges by each of the deities.
Oh yes, that's a good question.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yes. Okay. I know exactly what you're talking about. So पंडित जी, ये शॉन पूछ रहा है कि अंदर बट बिल्डिंग के इसने अंदर हॉल, टेम्पल हॉल में भी इसने देखे कॉइन्स, और वो याद है आपको जहाँ पे जैसे हम गणेश की जो डीटी वो है चैम्बर, वो हम उसके जब चारों तरफ वॉक करने जाते हैं, परिक्रमा करने, तो लोग क्या करते हैं, साइड में भी थोड़े से कॉइन्स रख देते हैं वो वहां पर। तो ये इसने वो कुछ कॉइन्स देखे, तो उसका क्या मतलब है?
ये एक बहुत पुरानी वैसे परंपरा है, जैसे कि जब भी कोई किसी स्पिरिचुअल क्षेत्र में कोई भी आता है ना, तो वो सोचता है कि यार ये दुनिया पैसे से चलती है, ये सारा इस दुनिया में जितना भी ताम झाम नजर आ रहा है, ये सब एक पैसा ही एक इसका मूल कारण है। तो हमारे से जितना हम क्या किया जाए कि ये पवित्र क्षेत्र जो है अच्छे से और तरक्की करता रहे, तो अपनी तरफ से वो एक सहयोग की तरह जिस भी मूर्ति के आगे जाते हैं वो वहाँ थोड़े से ऑफर कर देते हैं कि प्रभु हम प्रार्थना करते हैं कि ये स्पिरिचुअल प्लेस जो है चलता रहे। हमारे पास बहुत तो नहीं है, चलो जितने हैं उतने ही थे। ऐसे ही मतलब कम से कम कहते ना, पत्रम पुष्पम, गीता में आता है ना, पत्रम पुष्पम फलम तोयम। भगवान कहते हैं कि जो मुझे फल फूल से ही, जल पानी से ही जो मुझे ऑफर करता है, तो वो भी मेरी कृपा को पा जाता है। मतलब इसमें ऐसा नहीं है कि भगवान को जल और फूल ही चाहिए, पत्ते और फूल ही चाहिए, ऐसा नहीं है। पर ये एक मिनिमम ऐसा कि हम कुछ नहीं अगर कर सकते तो चलो कम से कम कुछ ना कुछ सहयोग इस पवित्र स्थान के लिए करें, तो ताकि ये पवित्र स्थान जो है चलता रहे। ये अपनी
Okay.
तरक्की करता रहे, हम यहाँ आकर के भगवान के साथ कनेक्ट होते रहे। तो ये एक
Oh,
परंपरा है, हर चर्च में होती है,
okay.
हर जगह हुंडी लगाए रखी होती है उन्होंने, लोगों ने ऑफर करने के लिए। तो हमारे जरा जो लोग ज्यादा सेंटिमेंटल होते हैं वो अपनी एक एक मूर्ति के आगे रखना शुरू कर देते हैं।
Okay.
बस इससे ज्यादा और कुछ नहीं है।
Okay. So, Sean, what Panditji is saying is that that those coins which you saw inside the temple hall building, they truly represent a sort of donation from the devotees who come, and then they are again showing expression of their gratitude that that universal consciousness we talked about. We get everything from you, right? The sun is shining, the mother earth is giving food, the sunlight is there, the water is there, everything is there around us, right? All the earth, water, fire, air, everything is there. And then they just come and show their gratitude by giving some sort of donation. Now, technically, just like in churches and other places of faith, there is a little bit more organized way of gathering those donations. Even at this temple, we have a safe called hundi, where you're supposed to put all your donations in that hundi, so that every month when we come and gather that donation, because the whole temple is not for profit organization, so we totally run on those donations actually. But then these people who get a little bit sentimental, they think that if they put the coins right in front of the god, then they get more favors from the god, even though technically it is not really. I mean, I don't want to say anything
Yeah.
to
No,
lower their faith or anything, but at the same time, if you think about it, the universal consciousness is aware of everything, right? So whether you put that your gratitude in the hundi, where it is supposed to be in the official form, or you put it in front of the deity, it should not matter. But I think people have that sentiment that they think that they will get more benefit if they put it in front of the deity or around those chambers or around those ledge which you saw. So, but it's nothing but just when students come like you to the temple, you may not have a lot of money, but you may have a little coin, right? A quarter or a penny or something. So it is just your way of showing that gratitude, that even though I'm a student, even though I do not have a whole lot of money, but I am just showing my gratitude to you, that everything you have given me, the capability for me to study, the capability for me to grow, capability for me to have a vision that I want to have a better life in my life after I graduate. All that is coming from your power, from your connectivity. So I am just showing my gratitude by doing this. So you can have $100,000 given to the temple, or you can have a simple penny given to the temple. But your faith is no different from the person who donated $100,000, because your faith is still the same. You're connecting with the same divine. Does that help?
That helps so much. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Sinisa, we have not heard from you. Sinisa, go ahead if you have any questions.
I had a question. Okay, so I realized when people were coming in and they were going to like each individual like building thing, they were like putting like oil or something on their head, and I was wondering if like that was like in like reverence to like something, or it was just like something you did before you like prayed. Or
putting your oil on the head, that I don't know. पंडित जी, सिनीसा कह रही है कि कोई अपने हेड में ऑयल डाल रहा था, इसने कहीं देखा किसी को.
ओ शायद कुछ सुनीता ने कुछ गलत देख लिया. नहीं, ऐसा कुछ नहीं.
Yeah, I don't know, Sinisa, maybe somebody was feeling itchy.
अच्छा, कई बार क्या होता है कि कई बार कई लोग जो हैं ऐसा एक्शन ऐसा करते हैं कि like that. तो शायद
It was like a red. I think it was like a red powder.
Oh, red powder.
red
Oh,
powder.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, जो चंदन रखा हुआ था वहाँ.
हाँ, उसका क्या नहीं.
अच्छा, ठीक है. Yes, red powder is correct. red powder वो क्या है? हम लोग अपने अरुण जी, इनको अपना वो मैसेज तो जरूर देना कि ह्यूमैनिटी जो है, ये 5 सद्गुणों से ह्यूमैनिटी आती है. कि ह्यूमैनिटी की यही पहचान है कि अगर किसी के मन में दया है, दूसरों के प्रति मित्रता की भावना है, सत्य के प्रति हम जागरूक हैं अगर, और ह्यूमिलिटी है और ब्रॉड माइंडेड हैं, तो हम एक बिल्कुल एक इंसान है, एक मानव है। तो वो जो रेड पाउडर है वो एक संकेत, जैसे ये जो हेड है ना, हमारा फोरहेड जो है, कहते हैं ना कि हमारा थॉट्स जो है सारे, अगर मैं मान लो उदास हूँ तो मेरे चेहरे पे आ जाएगा, मेरे माथे पे आ जाएगी वो सारी उदासी।
या
अगर मैं खुश हूँ तो वो खुशी मेरे चेहरे पे आ जाएगी।
हाँ
अगर मैं कोई बड़ी चिंता में हूँ, गम में हूँ, तो मैं छुपा नहीं सकूंगा उसको, मेरे माथे पे आ जाएगी। तो माथा ये है क्या? ये हमारे हार्ट का एक प्रतिबिंब है। ये हार्ट का प्रतिबिंब है, एक माइंड का एक प्रतिबिंब है। तो
ओके
हम लोग अपने माथे को सजाते हैं,
हाँ हाँ
मतलब डेकोरेट करते हैं उसको चंदन से, और जो कुमकुम से, है ना, विभूति से। वो प्रतीक है प्रसन्नता का। जैसे मान लो कि अब मेरे माथे पे चंदन ना, मैं एक बार मायर में गया तो मुझे एक लेडी ने आकर के बोला, उस दिन मेरी छुट्टी थी तो मैं वैसे ही चला गया, तो मैं वहां गया तो मुझे बोलने लगी, व्हाट हैपेंड, वेयर इज योर रेड डॉट? ओ तेरा माथा आज। मैं फिर उसके पास गया, मेरे अंदर क्यूरियोसिटी हुई कि इसने ऐसा क्यों पूछा मुझे। मैं उसको पूछा कि तू क्यों पूछा ऐसा?
हाँ
बोली नहीं, आज तुम्हारे चेहरे पे ऐसा लग रहा है कि तुम वो खुशी नहीं, एक कुछ मिसिंग कर रही हूँ तुम्हारे
ओके
चेहरे को देख करके।
ओके
तो मतलब ये, मैं मुझे तो घंटियां बज गई मेरे दिमाग में। मैंने वाह, कितना बड़ा संदेश दे दिया तूने, कि ये जो माथे के ऊपर हम बिंदी लगाते हैं, ये हम अपने आप में एक खुशी प्रकट करते हैं भगवान के
ओके
आगे। एक वो करते हैं कि दूसरों को खुशियां देना ही माथे पे बिंदी लगाने का अर्थ है।
ओके ओके
जब हम भगवान के सामने माथे पे बिंदी लगाते हैं तो उसका असर ये होता है कि प्रभु, मेरे हर कर्म के द्वारा सबको खुशी मिले।
Okay, very good. Okay, so so Sinisa, to answer your question, and I think Mark had given that a little bit of clarification as well. So what you saw was not the oil; actually, it was the red powder, or their actions. Like when they do something like this on their head, all they are doing is they are taking that red powder. We call it sindoor. They put it on the forehead. So the explanation is like this. What Panditji is saying, that whatever is happening in our heart, if we are feeling sad or if we are feeling happy, our forehead is a reflection of whatever is happening inside. Because you obviously, I cannot see directly what is happening inside you, inside your heart, or inside your mind. If you're feeling sad or happy or excited or dull or whatever, right? But then your reflection of whatever is happening is forehead is a clear reflection. So if you're happy, your forehead tends to broaden itself. If you are very, very narrow minded, or if you're feeling not very happy, your forehead tends to squeeze. So it's a very natural expression, and from where you can judge that what is going on in a person's mind or person heart. So what Pandit is saying, that when now we do the reverse part. So when we put the red powder, red means red symbol means happiness, the shining. So you are shining, right? So when you put that red powder on your forehead, you are now saying that I want to not only, after coming to the temple, not only I'm happy outside, but then that outside should make me happy internally, number one. Number two, because of that happiness I have, I want to spread that happiness to others as well. So when you see somebody with a forehead with a red mark, that means that person is sharing their happiness with you, so that you also, even if you are there for some sad reason, but then you will become happy. That's the idea behind it. Number one. And what Panditji shared a very small story, which I want to say because it's a very beautiful story. He went to Myers, and then in Myers, nearby, he was on a PTO at that time, and then he went there, and somebody had already seen him with that red powder before, but then at that time he did not have that red powder on his forehead. So this person came to him and asked him that, where is your forehead? Where is your red powder on your head? Where is that tika on your head? And then Panditji got very curious that how come, why he was wondering about that why I'm missing that red powder. So he went and asked him why did you get that thought that I'm missing something on my forehead? And then that person replied to him that today you do not have that shine on your forehead. Today you are not, you are not exuberant as much as you normally are with that red powder on the head. So that confirmed the theory that red powder or that red dot on your forehead is just a happiness, is a meaning, or is a symbol for that happiness, which you are using to not only keep yourself happy, but then you are also spreading that happiness to others. And that's what basically God is. Panditji will talk about that. Ultimately, God is nothing but there is no physical entity like God. If somebody thinks that there is one person or one power which is overruling the entire world, and then that person is somebody in the cloud or the skies, Hinduism basically totally vehemently disagrees with that. All it is it's a Satchit Anand, like existence, consciousness, bliss. So the whole idea behind coming to the temple is that you need to connect to the divinity, bring that happiness inside, and then you spread that happiness outside. That's all the temple does. So I hope it makes sense. If you have any questions.
That did make sense. Thank you.
Sunita, you driving? You drive this time?
Sinisa, Panditji is asking, are you driving at this time?
No, I'm not driving, but I am in the car, yes.
Oh, वो drive नहीं कर रही, वो अपने कार में बैठी है, Panditji.
अच्छा.
Okay. So Panditji also said something in addition, which is very beautiful, and I think you guys need to understand. I know you are only asking questions about what you saw at the temple, and maybe that's all you need for your course to finish your course. But since you actually came to the temple and you have that curiosity about how Hinduism believes in it, what Hinduism believes in what God is, or what that existence, consciousness, bliss, or that universal consciousness is, to whom we try to connect through the temple. So we are trying to make sure that you get that enough context. So basically what Panditji is saying, that the universe is made up of 5 elements: earth, water, fire, air, and ether. Ether is nothing but the space around us. Now, if you are a chemistry major, you always tend to think that, oh, I heard that in the periodic table there are 108 elements. How come you're only talking about 5 elements? But talking about 5 elements takes 1 hour. So talking about 108 elements basically will take you 24 hours, right? So our scriptures have simplified the whole universe into 5 elements, which kind of we relate to, right? So earth, you can relate to. Earth is that solid substance, that Mother Earth to whom we worship. And then water is very important. Then we have fire. Then we have air around us. And then we have got the ether, the space. So we all can relate to it. It's a practical experience. It's not like you have to be Hindu to experience this, right? And each of these elements represent a divine quality. So earth represents compassion, right? Water represents friendliness. Why it is friendliness? Because in water, if you mix anything, it adapts the color of that color, right? So if you are trying to be friends with somebody, usually they say, accept me the way I am, right? That's how the true meaning of definition is, so that I don't have to change to become your friend. So water does not ask you to change anything. If you are red and if you mix something red in the water becomes red, right? So water accepts you the way you are. So water is the most friendliest element on the planet. Then we have got air. Air means unpretentious service. You have been breathing ever since the moment you took birth. You came out of your mom's belly, right? And then you have been breathing, and that breathing, that oxygen you get from the air. You tell me, what have you paid back to the air? So air is doing that service. Air is providing our sustaining capability. We are doing the oxygen every second till we are going to survive, right? But then air does not ask you anything. So air is the most unpretentious service. Same thing with the fire. Fire has got a thrust. Thrust for what? Whatever thrust, whatever it needs, it just can destroy the whole planet actually in that thrust. But if you turn it around, that thirst can be for knowledge. So if you have a thirst for knowledge, if you want to find the truth of this life, that kind of quality, if you bring from fire, that will always make you successful, right? Not only in your professional degree, but also in the understanding of the life. And then the ether, that space we are talking about, that's the open mind. Because now you, four of you came to the temple, even though your professor probably forced you to go there, but now with that open mind, at least you are asking questions. And hopefully with some context from the Panditji, you will have an open mind and will understand that what Hinduism is all about. So that all the logical misinterpretations or the media misinterpretation of Hinduism, which you hear, hopefully you will be able to understand that what you see in the temples is just a symbol, but the real meaning behind it is very real. So what Panditji is saying, that from these 5 elements, those 5 divine qualities which you see, if you imbibe them in your life, you basically attain God right there and then. There is nothing you have to do to attain God. God is already there in your system, but it's just because of our ignorance, we just do not see that. It's like banana. Or the banana fruit is inside the peel. All you have to do is just take the peel out, and then the banana fruit is already there. So that God is already there inside us. It's just that we have to take that peel off. That's all. And then there are methods to take that peel off by looking at those 5 elements. So that's the extra context which Panditji asked me to share with you. So I thought I'll share it with you.
That was a great explanation. Thank you so much.
Sure. Thank you.
I personally don't have any other questions, but if Mark, Morgan, and Sanisa do, then I guess go ahead.
No, I don't have any.
I do not have any more questions.
I do not. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Sure.
Yeah, thank you for your time.
Yeah.
Yes, this was great. This was more than we could have asked for. I want to thank you guys, both of you, so much.
No, God bless you. We truly send you prayers and blessings. You become the most successful students at UD. You become the most successful people in your life. Whatever you're trying to achieve, whatever dreams you have, we pray that all your dreams could get fulfilled and you become the happiest people on the planet.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Arunji.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Have a good rest of your day, guys.
You too.
God
Thank
bless
you.
अरुण जी बहुत बढ़िया रहेगी क्लास.
हाँ पंडित जी बिल्कुल. जो भी आपने कहा ना, मैंने उसको अच्छे से चाहे भले थोड़ा लंबा लगता है, लेकिन मैं समझा देता हूँ अच्छी चीज.
बहुत ही अच्छा. अभी थोड़ा सा जब क्या आप ए का एक ऐसा सेशन बना ही लेते हैं, एक बढ़िया सा, एक दिन में ना, एक कोविड के कारण थोड़े दिन से कुछ स्टूडेंट्स नहीं आए.
हाँ.
पर पहले रेगुलर आते थे.
अच्छा, ओके.
तो अभी ये